Hello everyone, this is KansaiDorito, and welcome to the inaugural KD Q&A. Now, before I get into anything else, I want to thank you guys for watching not only this, but any of my other content. In 1 month, you guys took me from 0 subscribers on a brand new channel to just over 10,000. And since then, I've experienced nothing but growth, kind words, and an unbelievable amount of support. Initially, my plan was to play a game with some of you guys, get some footage and upload it. But I suck at planning stuff. It's seriously not funny when I don't have days to think of jokes. So I had the idea to make an open Q&A on my Discord. Open meaning without rules, which is probably going to go just about as well as you expect. I'm going to be answering the questions in the order they were posted. So without further ado, we have our first question from Clayjor, who asks,
Are you black?
No, I'm not. Alright, let's move on to number 1 Krolik Sim, who asks,
What BP guns are good and what sub guns are good?
all the Battle Pass guns are solid, and are going to be a very noticeable upgrade from their SR counterparts, with the only real outlier being the Expeditionary Pigeon, which is very lacking at 0 calibrations, but becomes really good once you get some dupes on it. The 2 big power spikes for it being V3 and V5. All of the Dorito shop weapons are worth it, the 2 standouts being Planeta and Golden Melody, because of how versatile they are. The next question comes from Redesigner Man, who asks,
What's your gacha background? How does GFL2 compare to other games? What do you like and what would you see changed?
Gacha background. Well, I started with Girls Frontline 1 a day or 2 after its global release, but honestly didn't bite. The first gacha I actually clung to was Azure Lane, which I still play to this day. Azure Lane, or more specifically USS Yorktown, got me into gacha waifu culture. I've played plenty of other gacha games though. I've spent 3 years of my life playing Genshin Impact every single day, played Nikkei for a while, Honkai Star Rail, Blue Archive, even got into Arknights, Uma Musume, and Wuthering Waves very shortly. If you know anything about H-gachas, I used to play Go-Go Osawari Island as well before it died. Anything I didn't mention I probably tried once and gave up, like Zen Zone Zero, which I uninstalled the moment I saw Anby was wearing shorts under her skirt. As for GFL2, I love this game. Spent a lot of time playing it, obviously. I think it's well above most gacha games in terms of actually letting us look at our girls, with beautifully detailed 3D models, great animations to stare at. Where other gacha games simply don't let you get up close and personal like that to the units, Mika lets you put the camera literally wherever you want, and I respect the hell out of that. For what I'd like to see changed, I honestly wish they'd stop with some of these tedious event minigames. The stupid Monopoly board and this sticker system particularly take way too much time for what they are. I wish even more dialogue was voiced. I wish we could get the base doll outfits in the dorms. I wish oathing was more than just a recycled cutscene and a text box, and dear god, if it is just gonna be that, let me oath all the girls, especially Sharkry. Awesome. Alright, now, Gabriel's Bullet asks,
If I'm running my Sharkry V6 on GS with QJ V3, should I be running physical for more damage, since she's popping off max number of supports per turn?
No, in this case, I'd run Face Strike. I know half or more than half of her damage is going to come from physical, but Shark's skills are important enough, especially against this current burn weak boss, that Face Strike is going to be the best option. Our next question comes from Variance, who asks,
Who was your favorite doll or dolls in GFL1 that isn't already available or confirmed for GFL2?
Oh man, there's a lot of girls I'd love to see. To rattle them off quickly, M2HB, M14, Emma Garand, Thompson if she's not dead, M200 if she's not dead, MP40, STG44, Car98, P38, C96, Lee Enfield, AK47, M870, Contender, Grizzly, Deagle, Slag 1257, Colt Revolver, Makarov, 1911, Galil, FNC, AK74M, Supernova and Shorty, Sopmod, Star 15, AK15, AK12, Ribby Rolls, Foul, G41, The Scar Sisters, M3 Sten, P90, DSR50, General Liu, Cord, especially her Pirate Skin, Negev, the RPKs, M99, Martini Henry, M114, and Jill from Valhalla. Oh, and Bar, can't forget her. As for my favorites, the American ones, baby. Next up is Ember, asking,
How do you feel about the effects of immigration on the black community?
Fine. Here. Hello everyone, this is KansaiDorito, and this is the 1350th episode of Girls Frontline 2 Explained, where we talk about the girls, their skills, and some of their backgrounds to get you caught up. Today, we're going to talk about immigration and its effect on the black community. In the 1960s, the United States saw an ever-increasing amount of low-skilled immigrants entering the country, and according to an extensive peer-reviewed study published by UCSD, Harvard University, and the University of Chicago, lead to an increase in black incarceration, lowered wages and employment rates, and an incredibly steep decline in college education in the black community. By the year 2000, 9.8% of all. Okay, hee ha-has aside, I'm not the guy to ask about this stuff, I promise. Hopefully that's the last weird question we get. Let's move on to Fulminatus, who asks,
Which country has the best breast?
in GFL 1, objectively, ZB26, but in my heart I have to pick my wife, Springfield. In GFL 2, objectively, VSK94, but in my heart I have to pick my wife, Sharkry. Our next question comes from Lucky Pants, who asks,
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I don't know, man, what kind of question is that? Moving on, Leon Torres 13 asks,
Do you play Goddess of Victory Nike? And if you do, who is your favorite Nike?
I used to. Quit playing around the time Red Hood came out. But my favorite Nike has always been Helm. The first time I laid eyes on that girl, it was like fucking lightning. But I'm also not the type to love a captain and not her crew, so there's a special place in my heart for Mast and Anchor. Honorable mention to Leader and Senti, who I also adore.
Womb Force 9000 review when?
When Mika confirms it. Oh, God. When it comes out in game? Jesus Christ, I hope the next question is better.
Are you a Sigger?
I've owned a SIG, the P220 to be exact, and it's honestly one of, if not the best 45s out there. I've even had the pleasure of firing a cross, and again, top of the fucking line. I want to try the Spear on the MPX, but haven't been to a range in a bit, so who knows. Owning one SIG in my life, though, I can't call myself a Sigger. Not with a straight face, at least. Now, we have Sai, who asks,
What prompted you to make these sort of Girls Frontline 2 videos?
Okay, so I've been editing and making videos for well over a decade. Edits of me and my friends hanging out and just playing games posted privately where no eyes but our own would ever see them. If I'm being honest, I never intended to make public videos, ever. I figured my sense of humor and gun autism would never in a million years entertain even a single person other than myself. But at GFL 2's launch, the Girls Frontline Discord would make a guide creation contest for the first GFL event, with a grand prize of 3 10-pulls. So I pitched a couple of ideas to my good friend Verisol, who then responded with, fuck it, what's the worst that could happen? So I would bust open my totally legitimately obtained copy of Adobe Premiere Pro that I did not pirate and throw together a Sharkry video. A video that sucked. Really, really bad. And if I'm being honest, one that didn't need to be made. I talked about her skills, and her rotation, it was 5 minutes long, and at the end, it was a miserable fucking video. I scrapped it, deleted all the assets, and basically gave up. A few days later, my friends Lynn and June would get into the game, and being their first exposure to Girls Frontline as a franchise, had no fucking clue what was going on. When I tried explaining things, I would, as a habit, refer to the girls by their old names, like Spaz12 and MP7, and only confuse them further. My failure, though, brought inspiration. I realized I should make guides for someone new to the series. I wanted them to understand and appreciate the firearms as well as the girls, so I picked one of my favorite girls, and one of my favorite guns, Nagant, and the rest is history. Oh, and the contest. I won it. But more importantly than that, I got to build this incredible community of gun waifu autists, and I'll never be able to thank you guys enough for helping me through that. Sappiness out of the way. I Love Baguettes asks,
Why is Sharkry so fucking hot? She turned me into a freak who stares at feet and armpits. Like goodness gracious, I would spend thousands of dollars just so I could lick an XCR and imagine it's her.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that and move on to our next question, by Bossington, who asks,
You doing okay?
Honestly, yeah, I'm alright. I mean, I'm alright. Yeah, thanks for the breather. Next up is On the Incline, who asks,
Are you the Goon Messiah? We saw no Goon?
No. I used to think I was, but I have been humbled on multiple occasions in my own server. Now, One True Penguin asks,
Are you fans of the AR carbine rifles? Or do you think they are overrated?
Yeah, the AR-10 specifically being one of my favorite firearms of all time. Overrated? No, I'd put them on the same bar as the AK. A base design so solid everyone can't help but start there. To be honest though, with both, I find myself hoping someone makes something new. Alright, next is 1D4 Steve, who asks,
What's the best way for free-to-play to stay on top of the challenge mode and endgame content?
Build the girls you have. Every new girl you get is more and more time invested in making them playable compared to making playable characters strong. Ideally, you want 10 strong units, 2 good teams of 4 for boss killing, and 2 general units that are great at everything else. Great boss killing units being dolls like Sharkry, QJ, and Wawa, and general units being dolls like Vepley, Diane, and Groza. Keeping your main girls strong is a lot easier than raising new ones, and once you have them fully built, you can focus on building new ones. Just remember that the game isn't really that hard, and doesn't really ask a lot from you. Don't feel inclined to bust open your wallet. Be patient, amass your resources. You'll be alright. For our next question, we've got Salty Main, who asks,
Can you call me Kitten?
No. Moving on to Vinny, who asks,
What is the best square gun there is that's seen in active military or military adjacent service?
Honestly, the L85. For some of you, that name hurts to listen to, and for some, you've probably never heard it before. So I'm just going to get into it a little. In the late 70s, the Brits were looking to phase out FN's FAL, or the L1A1, to them. So Enfield, their armory at the time, developed a rifle for the modern age. But they had two seriously terrible issues looming over them. The first being that Enfield was on its way out, and being on their last legs, their equipment was old and sucked, they had no staff, and a doomsday clock sitting over their heads. The second problem was that NATO had decided to finally get around to standardizing properly, so the caliber they were going to use was still up in the air. These two problems meant that Enfield had to make a modern rifle with shitty machinery, a skeleton crew, and absolutely no time to properly test it with troops, and to top it off, they had to be able to rechamber the thing just in case the standardization didn't go their way. It didn't. The US basically told everyone that 5.56 was the new freedom bullet, and the 4.85mm the L85 was actually designed to use was kaput. So the rifle is designed and is about to enter service.
Wait, we're selling Enfield in like 3 months. To maximize the value, we need you guys to make a couple of thousand L85s right fucking now, so our valuation is higher, innit?
But boss, we're a skeleton crew. We can't do that with this manpower.
Don't worry lads, we're gonna hire a bunch of untrained, inexperienced ranks here to help us.
And so, the L85 was a piece of shit, having serious issues like fucking falling apart and jamming a fuck ton, as well as like little annoying bullcrap like an out-in-the-open mag release that drops your mag if you so much as look at it wrong, or getting shit stuck behind the trigger because the shape makes it catch stuff. Not to mention being bullpup, so 2 decades later they went to H&K tail between their legs to get help fixing a lot of the shit. And the Krauts did their job well, fixing or replacing over 100 fucking parts, properly tested the fucking rifle with troops, and turned the Zero into a hero. The L85A2 is a fucking beast now, a hell of a good time, and despite H&K not fixing its biggest problem, being a bullpup, all the little shitty gripes with the rifle are all gone. They even cover the mag release, so yeah, best worst. Next question, coming from Belle.
How do you convince a girl to have hot-ass Sharkery cosplay with you? I'm asking for a friend.
Dude, you're asking the wrong guy. Asking me to pick up girls is like asking a chef how to make silicone wafers. Now, C. Jackal asks,
Raymond?
Is that a question? Yes? I guess?
Anyways, other than Sharkery, who'd you smash next? And what is the most importantly, do you own or at least fired an XCR?
Other than Sharkery, Springfield's my favorite girl, and is one of my favorite rifles. As for the XCR, no, I haven't. But I mean, I'd love to, if you got one on the back, Papa Robinson. Okay, so, Iberian asks,
Have you played other games in the GFL universe like Reverse Collapse or Girl of the Bakehouse?
No. I probably should. I love the lore, who knows, I might make a video about it someday. Moving on, Artery Gear asks,
Do you want your head to be in between Chongjo's wide hips and very nice thighs?
Yes. Sharkery? Wait, no! It was a joke! Wait! The next one is a double, coming from Merchant and Cuban Spy.
What do you think about tanks?
What do you think about fighter jets?
I think they're cool. I know a bit more than the average Joe, but I'm more of a boat guy if I'm being honest. Let's move on to Wisdale, who asks,
Dorito and a Sharkery cosplay when?
You probably don't want to see that. I'll tell you what though, if I get to 500k, I'll do it. Next question comes from Homie the Rat, who asks,
Judging from the use of Nikkei music in your vids, do you plan on expanding your content on other games/stuff? Also, love your stuff.
Honestly, I'd like to. I love GFL and I love firearms, and branching off into either of those directions is definitely on the table. I've also toyed with the idea of covering history in general, but right now I'm a really small content creator with an incredible audience I'd hate to alienate. This video already has been something I'm dreading while editing. The thought of giving you guys bad content and losing you for it is horrible. Next question is a three-parter from Solar Monolith, who asks,
Superman offers you a sip of the Kryptonian Henny. Do you accept it? What is the drink of choice of KansaiDorito if he drinks at all? And alternatively, who's the best girl and why is it Mosin Nagant?
I actually don't like Hennessy that much. Brandies in general aren't my favorite, but I do it for Superman. As for my drink of choice, any American whiskey, neat. Or rum if I'm feeling spicy. As for the best girl, I'm gonna go with Sharkry here. Not because I love her more than Springfield, but because I know more people like Springfield. Sharkry deserves all that love and more. Let's move on to the speed round where we knock out questions super duper fast. M14. Phoenix, Arizona George Floyd protests. People couldn't say KansaiDorito. Springfield. Turner into Raifu Captain America. GFL2, Azure Lane, Nikke. Man, I play everything. 7 more. M14, Emlyn Garand, Nikke, Valhalla. Black Skinhead by Kanye West. Anything by AC/DC. Raising Cane's, Carl's Jr., White Castle, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out. No. I don't have one. What the fuck? And that concludes our speed round. That was fun. Now, Mo asks,
what NBA teams do you think each current doll in GFL2 support?
Honestly, I don't know. But I know for a fact that Diane roots for the Bulls. Moving on to Corp Demon, who asks,
had Snarker never existed, would you have ever been a gunfucker as you are now?
Yeah, for sure. I've wanted to guns way longer than I've known about Sharkry. Okay. Chromechan asks,
what genre of music and song you like, sir?
I mean, I'm not big on rap, but I listen to Kanye West and MF Doom more than just about anyone else. Besides that, though, I listen to a lot of EDM and metal. No particular artist, though, more of a hodgepodge of tracks I like. Moving on, Artery Gear asks,
what sort of smell does Verpli's armpit have?
Do robots sweat? Probably not, it smells like flowers. Moving on to Gaspard, who asks,
would you redo your tier list video? It's outdated now.
I'll probably do it like once a year for funsies. You can expect one after the first anniversary. Next question comes from Sundere Guy, who asks,
except for Shock Ray on a leash, what's your favorite pet? Y'all need Jesus.
Personally, you can't beat a dog. A well-trained hunting dog turns shooting ducks from the world's most annoying game of find the dead needle in the haystack to a nice day out in the field and fresh organic duck meat. I also love birds, especially the ones that bite a lot. They're cute as hell. I always wanted to have like a giant fucking eagle or something that I can just deploy like a hunter-killer drone. Alright, we're in the home stretch now, so let's get on to the next question, coming from Lyman.
Can you name the ethnic groups that you like the most and those that you dislike the most? What are your favorite books? Do you have any favorite non-fiction books, history, philosophy, etc.?
My favorite fiction books are probably Moby Dick, The King in Yellow, and Lord of the Flies. For non-fiction, Guns of August, Generation Kill, and A Bridge Too Far.
What equipment and upgrades do I need to invest in to begin impregnating my dogs?
Kansai, are you submissive and breedable?
When will we see Kansai rolled up in a thong? When will he do his promised Sharkry swimsuit cosplay? When will he wrestle with Frey, covered in oil, and upload it to his OnlyFans? And finally, plans for future video ideas. Do you have a set schedule you follow, or is it simply ready when it's ready?
I have a couple ideas in the tank, and my schedule really revolves around my work-life balance. There's a point in time where I could just crank these out, and then I get them done every 3-ish days, but for a variety of factors, a huge one being simply running out of dolls, I've been taking a little more time. Our next question comes from Kira Kuriyami, who asks,
alright, so I gotta know, Sharkry or Springfield? Also, can I get a...
I love them both, but Springfield was the first. When GFL2 came out, I honestly didn't know if she'd ever come back. I figured she would, since she's such a beloved character, but with Mosin already there, I just didn't know. Do you know how that feels? Waking up and not knowing if you'll ever see your wife again? It's painful. I met Sharkry at the GFL2 launch. I was in a bad place mentally. But she was cute and sweet, you know? American. I saw a lot of Springfield in her. A smile that hides a deep-rooted pain, but she didn't let it get to her. If anything, it pushed her forward. She wanted to be the best, and was willing and capable of stomping on anyone in her way. I fell in love again. The curves, the smile, the smirk, the overtune damage for an SR unit. And then, one day, Springfield was back, and not just back, but better than she was before. Better than she ever was. And okay, I'll stop. I love both. I said Sharky earlier. I'm gonna say Springfield now. I've gotta keep you guessing.
Aside from the game itself, what resources do you use for research? Wikipedia and some random Gunnut forums?
I use a lot, honestly. Research takes the most amount of time in my videos. Sometimes the manufacturer themselves will tell their own stories. Sometimes I look into biographies and autobiographies from the designer. I've read books about things like the Russian Revolution where they talk about the guns and their use and stuff like that. Sometimes it's even other content creators or podcasts. Either way, I always try to make sure that everything lines up before I release, and I'm always asking you guys for feedback and corrections.
What CN doll are you the most hyped for to come out?
Springfield for sure. She's incredible. Kit-wise though, probably Yuhi or K2. I saw what she does for physical teams and it's awesome. Our second to last question comes from Pongo Bongo 72, who asks,
how do you feel about Blade users getting added to GFL?
I would love to see more Blade users. Specifically, I'd want to see a tankier taunt-based unit who just absolutely wrecks. It's one of my favorite archetypes. And finally, our final question from Ulrid's Stress Pig.
How big that cock?
Oh my... No. Well, that was fun. Thank you so much for watching, as always. My Ko-fi, Discord, and Twitter are in the description if you want to keep up or support me. And a special thanks to all my incredible VAs who asked all these terrible, terrible questions. Do you like this kind of video? This is my first time doing something not strictly GFL2 related, so I really want to know what you think. Please, leave a comment. I wanted to thank you one more time, and I hope you stay strong. Where the fuck did he go?
Right there.
Alright, so heads up, from the left.
Okay. Fuck that.
It's fine. No, it won't be. He's 5'1". Okay.